Okay, we're in episode 8, page 24. We are at the reception. Everyone's drinking, having a really good time, and it's getting later on into the night. Two things need to be kind of reminded about. Grendel is listening to this celebration, and these are Geats that are being revered for something they haven't yet completed. Okay? Episode 8. Unferth spoke, Eglef's son, who sat at Hrothgar's feet, spoke harshly and sharp, vexed by Beowulf's adventure, by their visitor's courage, and angry that anyone in Denmark or anywhere on earth had ever acquired glory and fame greater than his own. So this guy Unferth is a Dane, and he begins to kind of attack or question Beowulf. And he does it because he's jealous of Beowulf, and he feels threatened by him. But in the same regard, Unferth is alive, which means he never physically went and faced Grendel. So everything that Unferth is about to say is supposed to be insulting to Beowulf, and it's supposed to kind of make Beowulf feel bad about himself. You're Beowulf, are you? The same boastful fool who fought a swimming match with Breca? Both of you daring and young and proud, exploring the deepest seas, risking your lives for no reason but the danger? All older and wiser heads warned you not to, but no one could check such pride. With Breca at your side, you swam along the sea paths, your swift-moving hands pulling you over the ocean's face. Then winter churned through the water, the waves ran you as they willed, and you struggled 7 long nights to survive. And at the end, victory was his, not yours. The sea carried him close to his home, to southern Norway, near the land of the Brondings, where he ruled and was loved, where his treasure was piled and his strength protected, his towns and his people. He promised to outswim you. Bonson's son made that boast ring true. You've been lucky in your battles, Beowulf, but I think your luck may change if you could challenge Grendel. Staying a whole night through in this hall, waiting where the fiercest of demons can find you. So, Unferth brings up this story. He's kind of like that, nasty kid who just wants to, see other people uncomfortable. He says, I've heard about you. I heard about that swimming match that you and Breca had, that swimming match where you couldn't kind of check your pride and you lost. This is a huge insult. What Unferth is doing is he's kind of calling Beowulf out and saying, you're not the warrior that you think you are. Well, what Unferth doesn't know is that Beowulf isn't kind of the humble, non-confrontational epic hero that we may be used to. This is when you're going to see some of Beowulf's flaws. Ah, Unferth, my friend, your face is hot with ale, and your tongue has tried to tell us about Breca's doings. But the truth is simple. No man swims in the sea as I can. No strength is a match for mine. So Beowulf immediately says, Ah, Unferth, you've been drinking. You're obviously drunk and jealous, and you have no idea what you're talking about. So now what Beowulf is going to do is he's going to actually tell the true story. And this, go back to our discussion. Are there 2 sides or are there 3 sides to every story? So this is Beowulf's opinion of what happened. As boys, Breca and I had boasted, we were both too young to know better, that we'd risk our lives far out at sea, and so we did. Each of us carried a naked sword, prepared for whales with the swift sharp teeth and beaks of a needlefish. He could never leave me behind, swim faster across the waves than I could, and I had chosen to remain to his side. I remained near him for 5 long nights, until a flood swept us apart. The frozen sea surged around me, it grew dark, and wind turned bitter, blowing from the north, and the waves were savage. So Beowulf says, yep, we were boys, we were young and dumb, we shouldn't have done it, but we did. We swam together for 5 days. I purposely chose to stay by Breca's side, because I wanted to make sure he was safe. But then, there was a storm. So not only are they swimming in the ocean for 5 days, they're carrying swords. And they're also in coats of mail. And if you know about coats of mail, they weigh about 50, 60 pounds. So all of this requires superhuman strength. Okay, one of your characteristics and conventions. It grew dark, the wind turned bitter, blowing from the north, and the waves were savage. Creatures who sleep deep in the sea were stirred into life. and the iron-hammered links of my mail shirt, these shining bits of metal woven across my breast, saved me from death. A monster seized me, drew me swiftly toward the bottom, swimming with its claws tight in my flesh. But fate let me find its heart with my sword, hack myself free. I fought that beast's last battle, left it floating lifeless in the sea. So the sea begins to change, a great storm develops, Beowulf is winning, but he chooses again to stay by Brecca's side to ensure his safety. And, you know, what a true epic hero he is. Oh, swoon. All the girls swoon because he's kind of our epitome of not only a hero, but he has a kind heart. These evil, horrible sea monsters begin to attack. One monster actually grabs a hold of Beowulf and chomps down on his coat of mail, on his that's over his chest. But he says that he is saved by fate, and that fate then allows him to cut out the heart of the sea creature, and Beowulf promptly kills that monster. So actually we end episode 8 right in the middle of a story, and we are going to begin episode 9 right in the middle of a story. If you look at your characteristics and conventions chart, in media res, right in the middle. Episode 8 to episode 9 is an example of this.